Hello, my friends. This is a recording of the first preventive care grand rounds when we talk about spirituality and health. These seminars are to explore the issues about mostly concepts in the Bible and then compare to the influence on that on health. Also, we will discuss here many aspects of the Seventh-day Adventist Church regarding their culture, their tradition, and then how to apply this to health principles. In fact, um, one of the advantages of this discussion is that, or one of the things that we are going to discuss here is some of the principles of the Seventh-day Adventist Church um, that were started maybe 150, 160 years ago. So we are going to talk and discuss those issues and apply them to spirituality as much as possible. As you know, Loma Linda is a blue zone. Blue zones are areas in the world that we have people living up to 100 years old or around it, and also people that have most of them are functional and have good health. Um, and so the reason for that is not that Loma Linda has any magical powers, because Loma Linda is not, compared to other blue zones, is not an exotic place, but because Loma Linda has a good concentration of Seventh-day Adventists that maybe have lived these 100 years in several other places in the country or even in the world. And then when they were about to retire, they moved to Loma Linda. But this also was evidenced in studies, as we see in the Adventist Health Study, that the current one has 96,000 people enrolled and being followed according to their lifestyle and according to the outcomes. And then every year or so, some of the outcomes are being researched to see if lifestyle has an influence in some of the diseases that are common in this country and in the world. So, um, without any other talk, we just go to the topic today that is related to diet or the original diet. The importance of spirituality is that is represented in this phrase: life is fragile, handle with prayer, or handle it with prayer should be better grammarly. But today we are going to talk about the original diet. Why is that we have five blue zones in the world? We have Ikaria in Greece, Nicoya in Costa Rica, Okinawa in Japan, and Sardinia in Italy. And then we have Loma Linda in California, United States. California, or Loma Linda in California, is the only blue zone that promotes a vegetarian diet. And why is that? We have to check. The first reason, or the main reason, is because it is written in the Bible. What is written in the Bible? Well, in Genesis 1:29 and 30, we have this verse. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. So, implying that both for human beings and for living beings, the main diet should be a plant-based diet or a vegetarian diet. Let's summarize here what happened during the time that this verse was written. So, God created the human beings, and by the way, we are a Christian university. We believe in creation, so I don't need to discuss this with you if you are not a creationist. I remember one time we have a big discussion during one of the conference of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine that I am a founder member, but most of the founder members were from the Seventh-day Adventist Church and were from Loma Linda. And then on that time, on that meeting, there was two evolutionists talking about if human beings were first gatherers or hunters. So were they vegetarian or they were carnivores? And they discuss, and you spend a lot of time on that meeting discussing that. And I was thinking, well, I don't need to get into that discussion because I believe the first human beings were vegetarians, as we saw in the verse, because God created us vegetarians. So seeing this table here, in the first 3 days, God create the environment and then create the foods, the vegetables, the fruits, the roots, the nuts, and then from the fifth day, I mean, and the sixth day, that is where the creatures were created. And then when God created the creatures and human beings, he does not allow them to hunger because the food was already waiting for them to be eaten. So that's the thing. He create everything, and then in the sixth day, he create men and told men, Adam and Eve, to what would be the best diet for them. And that's why that's where was that was the original diet. And then we know that Saturday there was a rest, and then many people defend that Saturday was created for the Jews, but Saturday was created much before of the Jews, as Adam and Eve were not Jews on that time. They were created by God, and then the Sabbath was created for resting of the human race, a resting day for the human race. And that's the only evidence that we have for the 7 day period. There is no phenomenon in nature that can explain why we have a week of 7 days. Couldn't be 8 days, couldn't be 10 days. No, it's 7 days. And this is based exclusively in this part of the Bible, the creation week. But this also is not the topic. We were focused on the diet. So if you check the diets that we have today, by instance, choosemyplate.gov, you see that 75% of this diet is still vegetarian. So the first conclusion here is that the main food for our health and for our life is from the plants, not from animals. So animals, I would say, animals were used for food because there was no enough vegetables in certain times of this planet history, and then God allowed them to eat the meats, and even selected the meats that are more suitable for our consumption than other meats. But this was not the original diet, and the original diet was still a vegetable or plant-based diet. And we still are following the same thing. If you go to Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, that is the director is Dr. Neil Barnard. They have this idea that this is the creation diet. I mean, they go back to the origin. I don't know if Neil Barnard is evolutionist or creationist. I never talked to him about that, but his diet is very biblical. It means that this is the original diet that God created human beings to eat. Those are the foods. and then he has a lot of research saying that this diet can reverse diabetes, this diet can reverse heart disease and improve health and performance of human beings if they follow that, and reverse treat and reverse many of the diseases that we have in modern times, chronic diseases. If you go to Harvard, also you see the Harvard healthy eating plate that is 75% from plants, is 75% vegetarian. And then we have 25% that still is from animal products. This reminds me when I was a child that I was raised in a country in a part of Brazil that most of people eat meat in the morning, during noontime, and at night. So meat was the staple food of the gauchos, South American cowboys. So my family is from that part, and I was raised on that culture, thinking that meat is the most important food in our table. And that's completely wrong. As you see in the picture here from Harvard University, meat is just 25%. Most important food in our table is fruits and vegetables and grains. So most important food in our table and for our health is plants. So let's move to another food plate that I like most. I have used that in many of my lectures. The Canadian food pyramid, the Canadian food guide plate. What I like about them is that they did not allow the industry to influence their plate. So there was no influence from the Dairy Council. There was no influence from the meat industry, from the dairy industry, from the sugar industry, for the juices industry. So these guys were off. And then in that diet, you see you have still 25%. Um, you have 75% of grains or vegetables, fruits and vegetables 50%, 25% grains, and they ask or they advise for whole grains. And then we have the other 25% proteins. But you have something special about these proteins. Those could be proteins from vegetables. Those could be proteins from eggs, dairy, but it could be chicken or other types of proteins. So they are broad in terms of protein, and then this fits a person that is vegetarian or not vegetarian. You can see in the picture there that we have a bit of beans, seeds, nuts, and tofu, and also dairy and eggs that are good source of protein. So I like this pyramid because it can fit our diet that we promote. When we promote a vegetarian diet, we can use something that was pure research, that is from pure scientists in the area of nutrition. Coming back to our first original verse, um, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. So this is the original diet. So if you are a Christian and you believe in the Bible, you should take a look on this verse and study it a little more. You might say, well, but today is impossible to live just with fruits and vegetables. Yeah, I would say, well, our food is not that complete anymore. Maybe we need some extra or supplementation of vitamins, specifically vitamin B12, and maybe some zinc and iron, or some people might need that because the food is not complete or wholesome as it was in the creation. But it's still, this is the best food for us. To say that the food is not good and then that's why we need to eat meat is a mistake, because meat was never in the original plan of God. We were not made to eat meat. Even though we like it, we have eaten that, but that is not the diet that we were created for. Well, the conclusion is that if you want to have the best diet according to the Bible, this is the one. If you want to have the best diet according to the prevention of disease, that's the one again. If you want to have the best diet for the performance of your body, for the performance of your intestines, for the digestion of the food that you eat, for the performance, physical and mental performance, that's the diet again. So thank you for this, and we will continue next time with preventive care. Grand Brown's talking about spirituality and health. Thank you. I'll see you. Bye bye.